Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel and welcome to Airbrushing for Beginners Illusion Art Part 2. We've just done one on the channel for beginners, for practicing, for holding freehand shields and doing a bit of shading. This one is sort of along the same sort of lines, but this one looks really cool, looks better than the first one we've just done. This one's going to use two colours, so we used three in the last one. We used a black, a shading grey and a white. In this one we're going to be using a red by FW Inks, and we're going to be using the golden high flow acrylics shading grey transparent, so that's the other colour we're going to be using. Other bits you're going to need to do this project is pieces of sort of L-shaped card. We use these ones in the previous video because we're going to be painting a cube, so these will be ideal for holding up, giving you a little bit of practice holding a shield with one hand, and then you've got to airbrush around this to get these nice sharp edges. So that's a nice little practice one for you guys. Brush is the Ultra Harder and Steamer Ultra 2024 edition. Brilliant brush for beginners. I said it in the other video. Brilliant trigger, perfect response. You've got sleeve settings which you're going to see pop up in the screen as we paint this, so we can set the brush to make it easier and drop these paints down at the right amount of paint with the settings. So that's really cool. Air pressure, we're running 25 psi. That's a good ballpark for a beginner to start out at, is 25 psi. And if your paint was too thin and you're going up close and it starts to blow out, you can just bring your pressure down a bit. So we've got to do, when you go up close, you want to start knocking your pressure back. When you start backing off, you can bring your pressure up to atomise the paint a little bit better. So they're the bits we're using. You're going to need a pair of scissors at the end of this because we've got to do a bit of chopping on this when it's done. But it will look really cool when we pan around with the camera. You'll be like, wow, that looks unreal. So yeah, enjoy the video. I'll stick you in a time lapse. We will drop the red down in the time lapse, and then I'll talk to you when we've done that. See you in a bit. Right guys, we've got the first bit down. Got a little bit of blowout because we're holding a shield, but you're going to get that. If you really wanted to tighten this up, you could put application tape down and then cut the cube out in application tape and pull the pieces out, and it would really sharpen up. But this is just an illusion, a nice little test piece just to get you used to holding some shields and doing a bit of shading. Now that's what we're going to do next. We're going to do the shading. So I've cleaned the brush out. We're now going to go in and drop some shading on this section here, slightly coming down, this section just here coming down, and we're going to do a shaded square here on this. So transparent shading grey. This will flow absolutely fine out the brush because this is a transparent. You can see that there, not a problem at all. You've not got to thin that. Golden high flow on the transparent. You can just use it straight out the bottle. So I'll stick in another time lapse. You'll see the shading go on, and I'll talk to you after that. Right guys, you've seen in that time lapse, we dropped a little bit of shading in. We're just basically shading along this edge, along here, nothing fancy, just a little bit of shading, and then shaded a square. And we've done that in transparent, let it build over. If it blows out, it doesn't matter. You've got that nice sort of soft edge. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to chop this up. Now, we're going to cut along here, down here, and down and take that off. We're going to cut along here and chop that off, and then we're just going to chop this down a little bit to more of a smaller size, and then I will show you how the illusion works when we've chopped it out. There you go guys, we've chopped the image out. Then when you bring the camera round, this is when the illusion starts to take place. And it looks like that cube's floating. How cool is that? So just another little pan round, you can see the cube changing shape. And then you pan round with the camera. And there's the floating cube. So there you go guys, really cool effect. Very, very simple to do. Took you through the process. Nice one to practice with the Ultra. Filling in the cubes, a little bit of shading. Chop it out, pan the camera around and just angle down, and that cube is floating when you look across the tabletop. So a really cool one. I hope you've enjoyed the video guys and learnt a little bit along the way. Enjoy your airbrushing no matter what you do, whether you're doing illusion art, painting on a gas tank, painting on a wall, just enjoy it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.